So once you see how fast and easy it is to make homemade granola bars, you'll probably never want to buy them again. I'm back in the kitchen with Chef Barbara Mojon Gugnoni. Nice to have you back here.
Hello, Teresa.
Usually we're having some desserts, but I feel like this could pass for breakfast.
It could be breakfast, it could be dessert, and it could be considered semi-healthy, I guess.
I like it. Well, I see fresh ingredients.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the nice thing about granola bars is if you make your own or you make your own granola, you control what goes in them.
That's true, right?
So you can pick what ingredients you want in it and what type of, you always have to use some form of a sugar in granola. But you can pick what kind you want. When I make these for a friend of mine who eats no refined sugar, I don't put the brown sugar in them. I just use maple syrup and honey. You can use agave syrup. So you can be really careful about what you put in and what you decide to feed your family.
All right, that sounds good. How do we do it?
So let's get started. We have maple syrup here. And we're just going to sort of mix everything up and then throw in the dry ingredients, which will make the granola. So we have honey, maple syrup and honey. We are using brown sugar today, but like I said, you don't have
need to,
to.
right? Okay.
Right. You do not have to. If you take the brown sugar out, you might want to, put a little more honey in just to make sure you have enough flavor. But so there's our brown sugar.
All right.
We also have a good amount of vanilla. That really helps the flavoring. That's more than you normally see in a recipe, but yeah. And then we have a bunch of spices. We have cinnamon and nutmeg, a little tiny bit of allspice, and some salt.
Okay. And do you have the oven preheated, or do you need
I
to do that?
And it's at a low heat. It's only at 325 because you bake it for quite a long time because you want it to get really crisp and crunchy and browned. Now, if you want to do the orange zest, for this size recipe, we do the zest from, say, about a half an orange. And it just adds that little bit of citrus taste in the background, which brightens up the yogurt and gives it a little bit more flavor and a little help.
All right.
All right. So there
Keep
you go.
going, or what do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay.
So then we're just going to whisk this all together. You just want to sort of whisk it so the sugar starts to dissolve a little bit in your liquids. And then we're going to add, now I have a mixture here of melted butter and a vegetable oil.
Okay.
You can do all vegetable oil. I wouldn't do all butter because it might get too brown then in the oven because butter really does brown a lot.
It's certainly starting to smell good.
Isn't it? Oh, the orange zest does a lot with that. So you just whisk it up until this sort of all emulsifies together. You don't want sort of the oil sitting on the top of all the other ingredients.
Do you make this at home often, Barbara?
I make it every week.
You do?
I do. Unfortunately, my husband and I eat a lot of it.
Well, it's healthy, as we said. It's not too bad.
It is. I'm not sure we should eat quite that much, but when it's there, we do. So there we go. We have all our ingredients mixed up now. We have here old-fashioned oats. You don't want to use quick cooking oats. Use regular old-fashioned oats. And I have, these are raw almonds, whole raw almonds that I chopped a little bit in the food processor.
Okay.
Now, if you happen to be making this for somebody who can't eat nuts, leave the nuts out. Either just increase your oats, or you can add something like wheat germ. Wheat germ is really tasty and gets a nice crunch to it.
Great.
So that was 2 cups of nuts, so you might want to add an extra cup of oats and then add some wheat germ.
You're going to get messy here?
I'm going to get messy. This is the best way to do it, I found, after all these times of doing it. You just mix it up with your hands.
Okay.
And you get all the oats and nuts really coated. And then that's it. I mean, that's it to the whole recipe.
That is pretty easy.
It's pretty recipe, right?
Most people probably have these ingredients, right?
Exactly. I mean, you usually have everything in the house. The other real key to this is once it's all mixed and coated well, you put it out on a sheet pan. Now, I have it lined here with one of these silicone baking sheets. You can put parchment down, whatever.
Would it stick, or are you just trying to avoid a mess?
It'll stick a little bit because of all of the maple syrup and honey and all of that. So you put it down, you spread it out. I usually just spread it sort of to the edges. But then here's the big thing that makes it, those beautiful crunchy clusters in granola. Everybody wants those. So you put a sheet of wax paper down on top of it. And then find whatever in your kitchen works best for you. You can use the bottom of a measuring cup. You can use your meat pounder.
Oh, sure.
I happen to like this.
You like a spatula?
That's my spatula for the grill. And you have to press down on it really hard to really compact the granola.
Okay.
And you just do that over the whole thing. Make sure you have it down as really pressed down hard.
Okay.
Okay. Take the wax paper off, and you put this in the oven And you can go anywhere from 45 to 55 minutes with it. You just have to look at it. You want it nice and brown. You don't want it burned, obviously, but you want a lot of color on it.
Great. Looks like you have some varieties here too. Raisins, craisins.
Well, when you take it out, you leave it on the counter for an hour.
Okay.
That sets it, and again, gives you all those clumps. Then you break it up, put it in a storage container, and add whatever dried fruits you want to it. I have golden raisins, regular raisins, craisins, and cut up dried apricots.
Ooh, that's a nice combination.
But, whichever ones you do or don't like. So then, okay, so you can just eat it.
As
we
is.
snack
there
on
you
it.
go.
You can make a little parfait.
Parfait. I love
for
that
people.
idea.
We have just plain Greek yogurt here. This can be a dessert. This can be a breakfast item. You put some fresh fruit with it.
Lovely.
Isn't that nice? And you drizzle a little bit of honey over the yogurt and the fruit.
That's a fantastic breakfast, Barbara.
Isn't that great?
I love that idea. Yeah.
So healthy.
And look
Or
how
you
nice
can
they're
make your granola
packaged
bars.
too. You could just put these right in your
You
lunch
can.
and go.
So what you do is you take your granola and you add to it anything else you want to add to it. Those happen to have sunflower seeds and flaked coconut and a little bit of chocolate chips, a little teeny bit of mini chocolate chips. You put them with a mixture of more maple syrup, butter,
There you go.
and honey.
I get it. It sticks together
and
nicely.
You put them in the fridge and you compact them down again, and then you cut them into bars.
You're all set. I love it, Barbara. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here.
You
I
bet.
think I'm going to have that for lunch.
I think you should.
And we'll have the recipe over at WTNH.com. Just click on Style.